Hey everyone, welcome to the ERPodcast. This is our second episode. Sorry for not being with you the last couple weeks. We had some technical difficulties with X being on the road and not having his gear with him. So thanks for being with us today. Today on the second episode, we're going to talk about the new Deadpool movie, Rainbow Six Siege, and how much we're loving that, and the hacking and cheating in the pro scene in video games.
Okay, so I went and saw, and I know you did too, went and saw Deadpool last night, and I'm absolutely blown away, and I want every action hero movie ever made now be rated R. I'm like thoroughly convinced, and it should be played by Ryan Reynolds.
Well, I thought Ryan Reynolds did a good job on Deadpool, but I know I'm going to get slaughtered for this. I didn't like it that much.
Really? I could kind of tell last night when I texted you that you were like kind of not sold on it.
I thought it was really funny. The action was awesome. When I first saw the starting credits, I don't know if you caught it, but it just said like some douchebag's movie and made by an asshat and stuff like that. Did you catch that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I thought, okay, I'm in for a fucking treat today. You know, this is going to be great. And first, let me explain. There was probably 12-year-olds with their mom sitting right behind me. So I might be a little biased on my liking of the movie. I might need to go see it again. But every time he said fuck or cockshot or shitbag or whatever,
right,
they would just giggle, and then the mom would slap them for, like they shouldn't be hearing
for
that.
laughing at it.
Yeah, he at one of those first scenes on the freeway, he pops out cockshot.
Oh sure.
And they're like hee 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 hee.
When he
and then
gets
the mom
shot in the asshole.
Yeah, and he has a little asshole on the back of his suit, and the mom's getting like pissed and smacking him every time, and it's like, okay, you brought your kids to a rated R movie,
right?
Okay, well, so anyway,
right.
But the first,
now, keep in mind,
credits that came out.
We don't want spoilers.
Oh no, obviously. Yeah. Well, that's just the very first scene. That's not going to ruin anything.
Yeah.
But the opening credits, I'm like, okay, I'm in for a treat. This is going to be great. But the reason I want to say I didn't necessarily like it was the first 15 minutes in the first scene, that I'm going to call it the freeway scene, and if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, was excellent. But I felt like the rest of the movie was that same 15 minutes over and over and over until the end credits rolled. What do you think?
You're killing me. Now, see, I've been a Deadpool
I knew I was
going to
get crucified for that.
So,
I knew it.
No. Like, I get it. Like, I don't know. I built up so much because I watched X-Men Origins and was so pissed off that they sealed his fucking mouth shut and made him this mutant cyborg fucking thing. I don't know. The opening scene to me was what got me, but I understand. Yeah, and you've stated you have had movie talks for so long about you not liking slapstick comedy, and I feel like that's what this was in the vein of, and that's how Deadpool is. Like, that's how the comics are. Is very
and
like
he'll
get shot in the head and
that.
then be like bling, and it's almost like watching a cartoon. Like,
yeah, so I do want to give it credit for that because I know. See, I don't have a big history into Deadpool, but you did tell me that a long time ago. That is the kind of character he is. A nonchalant, non-serious fuckface. So I went into the movie knowing that, okay, X told me it's like this. This is how he is, and so I could appreciate the comedy, and it was really funny at first. And the action, like I said, the action through the whole movie was great, especially the work with his little katanas or swords or whatever they're called.
Right.
But by the end of it, when he was like just saying fuck every other line or just the same jokes, was like, okay, yeah, that was really funny an hour ago, but is there anything else to this, or is it just you're gonna kind of break the fourth wall every 4 minutes and say some cuss word?
There's a couple things that I didn't like. I mean, I
thought truth comes out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll criticize it, even though he's my favorite superhero.
Right.
I think it's going to get shit on because a lot of parents took their kids to it because they advertised it as a superhero movie.
Have you seen the news
And
stories and stuff about that? Like,
oh my dude,
mom
the
takes
first
4-year-old daughter to
so
Deadpool, sues movie
I knew
theater.
it was gonna have cussing. I knew it
Oh
was
yeah,
gonna have like dildo and ass references. I knew this was going to be in the movie, and I knew it was going to be gory. But
yeah.
there's a scene in there, and I won't give it away, but it's like it's something that a lot of people are going to shy away from, and it's something that a lot of kids don't need to see. And and I mean, it's a good like 15-minute scene, and it does explain a little bit about Deadpool, but like I don't know, it just makes him seem
Well, I,
there's a lot of backfire from the way they advertised, and I thought their advertising was hilarious. I thought it was
oh
really
yeah.
funny that like one of it's like a Valentine's Day, like come watch this with your girlfriend, and it's totally not a movie to like really watch if your girlfriend doesn't like cussing and dildo references every 5 minutes, like don't take her there.
Don't take her
But
to see Deadpool.
right, but I
I thought
thought the movie was just it's one of those movies. It's like action movies, for instance. Like they're just over the top explosions everywhere. People losing their faces and just all this crazy stuff. But if you really watch the movie, you're like, there's not really a lot of substance there. That's pretty much Deadpool. Awesome visuals,
basically.
awesome action scenes, a lot of jokes, and a lot of perversion. But I feel like it was a setup, and it was a setup for the second movie. And I feel like it's going to kind of try to do what Avengers did, where you had Iron Man, and then you had Captain America, and all these different superheroes, and they came together. Well, Deadpool's kind of like that. He does a lot of stuff with the X-Men, which is very apparent in this film too. He makes a lot of jokes about the fact that like they can't pay for more actors
Another
from
X-Men.
X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he makes jokes along the way about that. He makes there's a lot of fourth wall breaking, which I like in movies because I feel like I always had teachers and stuff that always tell me don't break the fourth wall ever. And when movies do it, it's such a fresh look at things when they do that I don't know, I enjoy it.
I think it's interesting that you say that. I did really like the X-Men jokes and the studio being broke jokes. I thought those were really funny. But it's interesting that you say you thought it was a fresh look that he broke the fourth wall all the time, but yet you hate The Office for that exact reason. I'm not an Office fan either, but that's what he does is he says some corny ass joke and then turns and looks at the camera like a moron, and you hate that. And that's exactly what Deadpool was doing in the movie. He'd say something stupid and then look at the camera.
I don't necessarily hate the looking at the camera. I don't like Steve Carell. So
Okay.
like I not that he's a bad actor. I think he's really good at what he does. It's Steve Carell. I don't know. He's really good at awkward comedy. I don't like awkward comedy. And
Right.
so and Deadpool's a little different than that. I don't know. I really enjoyed the movie. I was laughing the whole way through. But I could see where some people would look at it and be like, "Well, there's not a lot here." But I also
Right.
like really campy movies. I love Evil Dead. I love all the whole Evil Dead series.
Right.
And those are
So-
campy as hell. Those movies are ridiculous. They're stupid,
Right.
but they're funny to me. I don't know. I like it. So, it's kind of one of those movies. I don't know. It's going into something bigger. I've already it's already been greenlighted for a second one. It's got a lot of references to like Cable being in it, and stuff like that. I would like to see where it's going. And hopefully the second movie will have a little more substance. But I think as a trial to rated R action superhero movies, I think it's going to be a really, really good movie. And it is.
Like I
it's
said, I
done
do
like
need to
$100 million so far.
I maybe do need to see it again without annoying ass kids behind me with their mom smacking them. But you mentioned earlier that you think all the superhero movies should be rated R now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might detract from them. I'm a huge Iron Man fan. That's my favorite superhero. I have Iron Man shit everywhere. I love the Iron Man movies, all three of them, and I love his work, or Iron Man's work in the Avengers and stuff like that. I think them all being rated R might detract from them because, for two reasons. Them being PG-13, they can still pull in that fan base. I'm 28 years old, and I like Iron Man. Well, there's a 6-year-old down the block that likes Iron Man too. So there's a huge gap of, or a huge, I don't know, wavelength of age of fans that like Iron Man and like Captain America and like Hawkeye and all those people. And if they're rated R, you're going to chop half of those people away. Like, imagine Star Wars being rated R. Do you think it'd be nearly as big as it is now? Absolutely not. I think that could be a huge detractor. So why do you think, or why do you say they should all be rated R?
Um, I like realism in movies. I like when like cussing works. When it's done right.
So, well, I would agree with that. Like, a few fucks, a few shits, a few cock shots here and there. In Deadpool, it was made to be, I'm going to cuss and say as much perverted, fucked up shit as I possibly can in this whole movie. And it was hilarious. Like, it was really funny.
Sure.
If they did that in every superhero movie, it would be so fucking stale by now.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I could see it, them saying, bringing a rated R, or bringing the rating, up to rated R to allow the cussing and allow more of that gory stuff. I would just be afraid that it would turn into. Okay, so you look at a normal, regular action flick with Gerard Butler or something.
Right.
It comes out, it does good. There's some fans like me, cool. I like Gerard Butler. I like action flicks, cool. And that's basically it. And then you have a superhero movie come out. Captain America comes out. Iron Man comes out. Avengers comes out. And there's lines out of every theater in America waiting to go to these brand new movies. Spider-Man, all of them. They're all like that. I feel like if they bumped it up to R for the gore and the cussing and stuff, wouldn't it just kind of fall back into the wayside of, oh, they're just action flicks with guys in spandex type of, it might detract from it being like a superhero movie to it's just an action movie.
It's very possible. They do find creative ways to like get around that. They do find like how to make superhero movies seem more adult without actually having that adult content in there, without having the blood, without having the cussing, without having the various things that go along. I watch movies with war in them, such as like the Avengers series and stuff, and I feel like when they fall down and they're like, oh heck, it detracts me from like how serious the movie is. Like
it takes the realism away. I totally give you that. I totally give you that. And some happens, it gets his arm blown off. Oh dang it! No.
Sure,
you get your arm blown off, you're gonna say fuck shit.
My
damn,
eyeball's
what happened?
hanging out of my face. Oh fudge! It's no.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't think it should be overdone, but I think there's a couple of movie series that should just be rated R, such as like The Punisher, and I even think like Iron Man could
no,
be
wasn't the
like
original Punisher with what's his name? I can't remember his name right now.
The first Punisher I believe was PG-13, and Warzone was R, but Warzone was like this cheap cash in like.
Oh,
I don't like it. I didn't like it. I thought it was just like cheaply done and kind of just a money grab. But that's kind of my personal feeling. There's a lot of people out there that did like Warzone. I was not one of them.
Right. Well, okay, so overall, I mean, I liked Deadpool, but I didn't like it at the same time. I liked Deadpool as a character. I liked the action. I liked most of the jokes. I just, in my personal opinion, I'm gonna go and get my cross for you real quick and put it up in the yard so you can just peg me to that bitch. But I didn't. I thought it got stale about halfway through, and it didn't matter to me. What did you think overall as a film? Kind of your rating? I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10.
I'll give it 9. I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
A 9.
It wasn't perfect, but it was damn near close. At least for what I was expecting for a Deadpool movie.
And what could they have done to get you to give them that one extra point?
I didn't like. There's two things I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that the bar guy. I can't think of his name right now. His like friend throughout the whole thing that he keeps calling. The bar guy and Al. In the comic book series, he's a complete dick to both of them. Like locks them in like downstairs in the basement and like tortures them and all kinds of crazy shit. and they like can't get away from him. In this, it seems more lighthearted, where it's like, oh fuck you too, hun. Like, I don't know, it seems softer than how he's portrayed in the comics, which it's a movie, so obviously some things aren't going to come across. The other thing is was the storyline between him and his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember him having a girlfriend like that. I remember him being in love with Domino, and I haven't read the comics in a while, so I could be completely wrong. But he was always big into Domino, some of the X-Men girls, and Lady Death, and there's a couple others, but they're all superheroes, and they're all mutants, because that's who can relate to the fact that he's all mangled and fucked up.
Right. So basically, you took off a point because it didn't follow the comic, essentially.
Just that they added their own fervor to it that I don't think needed to be there. I think he has love interests in the comics that they could have gone with. That would have been fine.
That would have been fine. I thought the girlfriend fine. It was to drive the plot. That was the whole reason she was there.
Right.
Was to move the plot along near the the second half of the movie. But I mean, overall, good flick. I do think I need to go see it again. I'm gonna give it a 7. X is gonna give it a 9. If you haven't seen it, go see it this weekend or this week. It's probably gonna be sold out quite a bit since it's President's Day tomorrow, so no one's got to do anything all day. But go see it. Definitely worth it.
It's definitely worth it. Now, there's one other thing. There's another thing I want to talk about, which is and we both really love this game. We went through and played CS 4 years.
I've been playing CS since 1.6.
I'll admit that I didn't start playing CS heavily till CS:GO, but I did have every rendition of CS. I did play more of like the surf and stuff like that, but I started playing heavily with CS:GO, and we experienced it. Well, we've been experiencing it for the last couple weeks, which is hacking and just the overabundance of hackers and just foul players on CS. And kind of how do you feel that experience has ruined CS for you? Because I feel it's shattered mine. Like, I don't want to go back to that game anymore.
Yeah, like I said, I've been playing Counter-Strike since 1.6, like LAN style Counter-Strike, at LAN parties and stuff like that. And then I didn't play a ton of Source. That was when I got into consoles and playing Call of Duty and shit like that. But then CS:GO came out, picked that up. I think my Steam account now has over 1,000 hours on CS:GO, and I'm a huge proponent of the ranked system. I don't play casual Counter-Strike because it is shit. All competitive. Loved it. I mean, we've been playing competitive for 2 years probably, the better part of 2 years.
I would say solidly 2 years, yeah.
Solidly, like at least a couple matches a week, if not, multiples on the weekends and stuff like that.
Right.
And I loved it. I got to the point where I was doing research on nade throws and spray patterns and, just higher echelon or top tier strats and stuff like that. And we both got I know I did. I got to double AK, and I think you got to AK, which is not professional in any means, but it's a respectable rank to have. And I know the other guys that we've been playing with, Rockstar and those guys, they got up to AK and double AK with me and you as well. And that's a very respectable rank to have. It's not something easy to achieve. And it was my favorite competitive shooter that I've ever played over Call of Duty and over Halo, even though I don't consider those competitive shooters anymore. But then Counter-Strike, I'd say about maybe a year ago, it really, really picked up steam as far as just its player base and its competitive, culture coming out basically into view.
Right.
Like you've got League and you've got Dota and WoW Arena and all that type of stuff, which has always had a huge following and a huge competitive scene. And then the shooters were kind of, I'm gonna dog on MLG because I think MLG sucks, and they pick up Halo or other crap like that, and no one cares about that shit. They pick up they just pick up those other games, and then Counter-Strike comes along and they say, well, we're just going to do our own thing. We're going to do ESEA or ESL, stuff like that, and they kind of went into the mix and took that spot among the other professional games, StarCraft, League, Dota, WoW, stuff like that. They took the shooter spot, you know,
Right.
and watching the player base go from 50,000 a day to a million a day, 750,000 a day on the weekdays, it brought in the community that is toxic, and that's the reason I don't play League of Legends. I think League of Legends is a great game. We have a bunch of friends that play that all the time, but the community makes me want to kill people because you make one mistake, or you're new to a character, or you're just plain new to the game. They're just gonna
Right.
shit all over you, and
Right.
it's terrible. You want to learn something? No, fuck you. You're obviously bad, and we're just gonna kick you, or we're gonna throw the game. That's what CS has turned into now, and that initially didn't bother me. I don't know if that really bothered you with the toxic community, because basically you just click mute on whatever squeakers on your team and it's not a big deal.
Right.
But then the hacking and the cheating came in, and it is so
It's
obvious.
rampant. It's
It's
rampant.
rampant. It's like an actual virus
Yeah.
within the video game.
Yeah.
It's not oh, I might hit a cheater a night, maybe on a weekend. No, you will hit a cheater every other game. And
I
and it's not like they just get some kind of crazy shot. No, they're blatantly stopping, toggling on their walls, and then running around and headshotting everyone with a deagle. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? To me, the game is currently ruined because of that. Because Valve doesn't give a shit. Because
Right.
CS is their, besides Dota, it's the biggest cash cow they have.
Right.
And the economy for Counter Strike with the new skins in the cases is
Oh,
in
it's huge.
some astronomical amount of money every day. Valve doesn't care, and they're, even if they do, which maybe I shouldn't say they don't care, maybe they're working really really hard on it, but it still fucking sucks. The game is ruined for me. After we played that last game, what, 2 3 nights ago, I uninstalled. It is no longer on my computer. And it's not like I rage quit or something. I was having fun playing, but it's just I realized, you know what, I worked really hard for my rank and then got deranked. What? Well, let me see, 6 ranks in the matter of a weekend.
Oh,
Okay,
we
well,
were losing ranks like
we
pretty
were losing ranks for
much
getting a
every
win.
game. Every game we were losing a rank. Which
Yeah,
which is part of their ranking system they were trying to fix. The only problem
right.
is we're now thrown in a big giant pool of fuck sock, and my biggest issue is because hacking used to be a thing that in multiplayer games at least you had to have technical know-how in order to do. You had to go in, you had to fix files, you had to do all this shit. Now you can pay for them. Now you pay $10 to get your box hacks. You can get your wall hacks. You can get your aim hacks. And
Yeah,
kids like I, I I don't like to use the word kids because I know there's adults that do it too, but it feels like a lot of people are hacking on CS:GO because they either A, don't understand how to play, and they keep getting wrecked, so their only option is, okay, well, I'll just cheat, or they are just sore losers. I mean, and this is all the way up. They caught, what was it, 15 people in pro leagues that were using hacks at some point or had hacks on their computer.
I think it was 13, and just if you're listening to this and you're not quite sure what we mean, this was top tier, highest echelon Counter Strike pro gaming, like
Yeah,
for the pools of millions and millions of
yeah.
dollars when you win, like CS Catalyst and stuff like that. I think it was 13. You might be right at 15 though. I'd have to double check.
I know it was
Were
a large amount.
caught
It might even
cheating,
be 11,
and
but still 11 people that were pros that were caught with cheating software on their computer. I don't care
right,
if they didn't use it for pro matches. Screw you if you're going to have it on your computer in general. You know,
right,
you're ruining it. It makes it toxic. And what they do is you get hackers and then you call them out for hacking and then they're like, "Ha ha ha, got you. You're so mad. You're so mad." But the problem is I'm playing this game because I want to get better. I'm playing this game because I really enjoyed the difficulty of it. I'm playing this game because it's not a mindless shooter. I watched Call of Duty video the other day, and it was ridiculous. Some guy bounced off the wall, killed 16 people, and it's like, this is skill. And I'm like, no, it's not skill. It auto-locked to everybody. Call of Duty's just become this auto-shooting game.
no,
So,
I don't
so
play
when
Call of Duty anymore.
when I got into Counter Strike, The difficulty was there. You had to aim. You had to try. You had to actually work towards getting kills and work as a team to play correctly. And now it's all ruined because you get one hacker on your team or the other team, and you pretty much either, you'll win just purely because the hacker is hacking, or you're gonna lose because there's whole teams. I went across 2 days ago, played online, and went across an entire team that was either wall hacking or aim hacking.
Mm-hmm.
And
you showed me that that YouTuber, I don't remember his name, that all he does is do the Overwatch thing and watches all the people cheating, and it's really funny.
Name drop, Jericho.
Jericho, is that hit? Okay, so
Yeah,
if you're listening right now, check out Jericho's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And all he does is watch the Overwatch cheating system.
He does everything. He plays CS. He's really good.
Oh, okay.
At CS.
Well, watch the Overwatch
but
videos.
he does a lot of Overwatch videos. Yeah.
And you'll see what we're talking about, just how like blatantly rampant people cheat and hack, and it's nothing. It's not a big deal. I think I'm more upset about it because I really liked that game, and I have been playing that game for years, and it's been a point of camaraderie with a lot of guys that play.
Right.
It's always been a thing. Hey, it's Friday night, Saturday night, whatever. We're not doing shit. We're not going out. All right, we're going to play CS all night long.
Right.
Rad. And now it's fuck CS. I have no interest in playing that. I don't even want to watch it anymore because it's, I don't even want to watch the pro scrims anymore. And I liked following like the ESL and the Cataways and that type of thing.
Sure. We used to turn on Twitch and watch it for hours.
Watch the big games and stuff.
Order pizza and watch tournaments. Like that was our thing.
Yeah. I don't even want to watch those anymore because chances are 25% of those kids or people, I shouldn't say kids because they're our age, that are in those championships fucking cheated their way up there.
Oh, sure.
And I'm sure people are listening or whoever's is going to say, well, why don't you guys just cheat too? And then you can get up there and play with the non-cheaters. And it's just, I've heard that before. Someone told me that in a game before, and it's like, nope. Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
I have a belief that I'm not going to exacerbate the situation by getting hacks and doing it myself to win one over on them. Because then you get a game full of hackers. Like, if you ever, somebody puts in World at War, like, that game is nothing but hacks.
It's a joke.
So you get games like that. And it's not even CS is being rampant in all games. CS is just a game that I care very much about. It has a very competitive feel to it and a very competitive following. And it's being ruined because of, the Steam sales. And the Steam sales, not directly, but the fact that it drops it down to $5 or $7 or whatever, that these hackers buy 16 or 17 copies with all their different accounts, and then they don't care if they get banned. So what's the point of Overwatch? What's the point of reporting them when it does nothing for you? It does nothing to get rid of them because they'll just jump on the next one and use their hacks for that.
Right, and the Steam sales happen, I think, probably 4 or 5 times a year: winter, spring, summer, Christmas, that type of thing. And they drop the game to 50% off or 75% off or whatever. And that's great for new players or people, that, oh man, I used to play Counter-Strike. Oh, it's only $5. Cool, I'll pick it up, or whatever. But I do want to give some, I don't know if credit is the right word, but one, if you play Counter-Strike Go on anything but PC, you're wasting your time. And that's not just because I'm a PC fanboy, but it's because that's the truth. Counter-Strike's not meant to be a console game. And so you're playing on PC, so people say, well, just IP ban them or whatever. Well, it would take me a whole of 15 seconds to change my IP to something else right now on a computer. It's not IP locked. It doesn't matter. So I do agree with you. What's the point in Overwatch? You're going to ban someone's account. They're going to go, oh, shit, I got banned. And they're just going to log into their other Steam account and do it again in 2.5 minutes.
The answer is simple. Make it $60. Make
the game $60.
When it goes on sale, make it $30. People won't do that. People won't hack because if they get banned, then your banning system works. Somebody gets banned and they spent $60 to get the game, they're going to be pissed. Good. Get pissed.
Maybe.
Then
I don't
stop
think that
using fucking hacks.
I don't think that would resolve everything because you can pick up. There's lots of people that cheat on $60 games. All the time.
Sure.
I think it would help that the game isn't $15 and it's $60. I agree. I think the game, if you're gonna play it casually, it's not worth $60 at all. If you're gonna play competitively, obviously that's definitely worth it.
Right.
But I mean, like I was saying, I do want to give it credit that it is on PC and it's a lot harder to police PC games. And secondly, it's so huge now. It's the biggest shooter in the world, easily.
Right.
For competitive wise, Call of Duty and Halo and whatever else people play on the shooter genre can't even come close. If you add them all up, they don't even come close. It's the biggest
Right.
shooter in the world. So you have to give Steam some credit to where their player base was under 100,000 a day, and what seems to be overnight jumped to almost a million players a day.
Oh, sure. Sure.
You do have to give them a little credit. And the other thing too is people say, well, they're cheating, and does that happen in pro games? I've been asked that. Does it happen in all the pro games and stuff like that? And I reference it to not really, because you have games like League and you have games like Dota. I have seen, I think personally, two people cheating in League of Legends, and it wasn't even that huge of a deal. I think what they could do is they could like how he had set it up is he could run like sprinting all the time.
Right.
And but that was, I mean, that's helpful, but it's not some, just stay away from him, okay, and then he can't do anything to you.
Right.
But like Dota, League, StarCraft, there isn't a lot of cheaters in them because of the nature of the game. So I feel like we're already putting ourselves down a peg by playing a competitive shooter, because shooters have always been the type of game or the genre of game that you cheat on.
So
I don't know how.
that kind of brings me around to the next thing I want to talk about, which is we came across the speed bump where we were like, we don't want to play CS anymore, but we all play, different games. CS was our game. We all play other things, and then we'd all join together for CS. And we were like, okay, let's play different games. And so we were looking at other shooters that we play, other competitive shooters that feel really good. And I've been playing on my PS4 Rainbow Six Siege for a long time now, since it came out. I picked it up day one, and I've absolutely loved it. I was not entirely thrilled with the beta, but I went with it and bought it anyways, and I absolutely love it. So we picked up Rainbow Six. Well, basically all of us picked it up in one day. One of us said, "Oh, I bought Rainbow Six," and then the rest of us did. And I've had a lot of fun with it. It's really difficult. You have to think on your feet. It's a lot different than CS. It's not as quick. Basically,
No, it's
everything.
definitely one of the slowest shooters I've played,
Right.
besides maybe Arma or uh, what's that one we were playing? The Pacific Storm or something like that. I can't remember what it was
I don't
called.
even remember.
We played it for like
It
a
was
whole
that.
hour.
It was that good that we don't even remember.
Yeah. But it's definitely the slowest shooter. But that's what I expected, coming from playing like Rainbow Six Rogue Spear
Right.
and Vegas. They're
That's,
slow.
That was
They're
that was
just
part of the fun of those games is planning. It
right.
wasn't about the shooting, and Rainbow Six Siege does the same thing. It's all contained into one go. The planning's not as extreme as the other Rainbows, but I kind of like that. And the action happens pretty much all at once. Once people start breaking in and trying to get to the objective, then all hell breaks loose, and then you really have to be on your game. But before that, you're deciding where to put the hostage, where to put the defenses, where to put your bombs, where to put your self, all that kind of stuff. And there's so many. I think it has the chance to become another competitor and competitive gaming platform. And ESL has taken notice of this and has decided that they are also going to support them. And they've got a tournament for like $100,000, which isn't a lot. I mean, the league tournament was like 10 million.
I think the biggest one is still held by Dota, and that was last year's National Invitational, was like 13 point something million.
Right. And
yeah.
so ESL, so it's $100,000, but it's $100,000. Like, that's also nothing to scoff at, especially for a new
Absolutely
game.
not.
And
You're talking a new game, hasn't even been out a month, and hasn't had a tournament or any sort of national attention for competitive, and they've got $100,000 tournament. It revolves around 5-man teams. It's $25,000 or $20,000 a piece.
Sure.
that's
Sure.
that's more than people making an entire year working at McDonald's.
Oh, sure.
So not. You're right. Nothing to scoff at. I think even though you said it's been picked up by ESL, I think it's going to largely revolve around Ubisoft and Uplay and how they flesh that out, because all the other pro games, they're either Blizzard, Steam, or League of Legends is on its own engine. Other than that, you've got those three, or where the games come from, the pro games, and that's it. And they
I,
have their shit down. They know
I,
what they're doing, and that's how. So it's gonna depend on Uplay, and it's gonna depend on what Ubisoft. If they keep updating it, they keep adding content, and they add content in the idea that they're adding content to a professional game. Like you see
right.
StarCraft. I know you're not a StarCraft fan. I am. They do an update once every 6 months because it's meticulously calculated on
Right.
not how it's going to affect the game, it's how it's going to affect the professional players and
Right.
their
Right.
game. That's what I think is going to matter.
Ubisoft has said that they're like dedicated to making this a competitive game, like a game that you can, if you're good enough, make it make it something you play for money.
Right.
They're really pushing for this to be another platform to play, and I think there's always going to be those upsetters. There's always going to be that Blizzard knows what they're doing, and so does Valve and all the top players for competitive gaming. They all know what they're doing, and they're staying with that formula. Some of these companies that are now starting to realize how big competitive gaming has gotten into are now trying to figure out a way to get that chunk of the pie because they're making
Right.
millions of dollars. Like
No.
when League was in the stadium for or not League, Dota, when that 13 million pot was played,
Mm-hmm.
they made, I think it was something like $50 million in revenue purely from the ads that were played on ESPN while they were streaming the Dota tournament.
I was talking to some people at work the other day, and they were saying you can't make money playing video games and you're wasting your time and shit. And I popped it up on my phone real quick because I have it saved because it's my favorite fucking thing to crush people with.
Oh,
Is
sure.
the last or the League of Legends World Championships last year had more viewers than the Super Bowl.
Oh, sure. Sure.
The Super Bowl is the biggest sporting event
Grant-
besides the Olympics.
Granted,
think.
the Super Bowl was kind of Oh, wait.
Well, not this year.
For last year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, it had more viewers than that, and it's a bunch of nerds playing computer games,
Sure.
and they're selling out the Staples Center and the Samsung Arena, or whichever one was in Korea that they were on, selling those out like crazy,
Oh, it went
making
from
millions and millions of dollars.
it
And
went
ESPN has
from-
officially picked up
Sure.
pro
They-
gaming.
They want pro gaming, yeah.
No, they have picked it up. It will be available on cable
Yeah.
television on ESPN. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
it's weird because gaming has become such a big thing. It's now you've got YouTubers, you've got streamers, you've got content creators, you've got all these different jobs. Now, when somebody comes up to me and says you can't make money at gaming, I absolutely
laugh at 'em.
can't stand it. I can't stand
Just
it.
laugh at them.
Anyways, off topic.
But that's why I saved that article on my phone. Is they so you can't make money gaming.
Oh,
It's
sure.
like, all right,
Sure.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You sure about that? Because
By the
everyone,
way,
it's totally acceptable to be talking about how you love the Patriots or the Seahawks or the 49ers or whoever
Oh,
the fuck.
sure.
That's totally normal, but you're a gamer, you're a fucking nerd. Well,
Yeah.
they make more money now, and it's just as big, so suck it. Anyway, what were you saying? Back to Rainbow?
I feel Rainbow Six to me feels like what Call of Duty Modern Warfare was facing. Nobody knew that game was going to be massive. And I'm not saying it's going to have the same numbers, and I'm not saying it's going to be as good as most people feel about that game. I just think that they have a pretty good balance going. They just need to flesh out a couple parts of it. I feel like each and every one of the characters you play has their own set skills, and none of the skills seem small. None of the skills seem kind of like, oh, I'm never going to play that character because I don't care about their special skill. Every skill is useful, and every skill, there's something for everybody to play on Rainbow. You've got your heavyweights that run around and basically just destroy. You've got your lightweights that are kind of the fast guys that run around, and kind of hide from weird places and stuff like that. They react quick when, say, the bad guys have gotten into where you're trying to
They're
defend.
your scouters and
your scouters,
your
your stuff like
roamers.
that. And then you've got your healers. You've got your I call them defensive guys, and they're basically your shielders and stuff like that. They're the people that they're not really effective as far as killing people. They're just effective at stopping people from moving forward. And the game just has a lot of potential, and I see it, and ESL sees it, and I think Ubisoft knows that they have a hit on their hands. And as far as the sales have been really good on it, so I think Ubisoft is going to keep up with it. I think they're going to try to keep fixing it, try to keep molding it into something a lot better, and I think a lot of people are going to start attaching to it. CS was the same way. CS for a long time was a game that a lot of people played because they knew the difficulty, but when CS:GO came out is when it blew up. And I feel like Rainbow Six is the same way. A lot of people know
CS
that
was
the
huge
Rainbow
with
series
CS
is
Source.
good, but Rainbow Six Siege is going to be where people actually get involved with that game.
I really hope so. I like the game a lot. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm still really fresh, so I'm still learning a lot. And then you can't play, you can't take part in ranked play until you reach at least level 20, I believe.
Yes.
So I've still got a ways to go on that, but I mean, I think the game's solid so far. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Hopefully, by what you're saying is make the game $60 and you won't see as many cheaters. Well, this game is $60. And I am enjoying it a lot. I know you're enjoying it. I'm having fun playing it. I'm going to be playing it later today as soon as we're done doing this. I do like it a lot. I do see it has potential. It does worry me a little bit that its player base on Steam, at least, is a lot lower than some of the other big games. I know you can play it directly through Uplay, so that won't count the players. But, just like you just said, Counter-Strike started out slow. League started out real slow. Dota was a mod, for fuck's sake, that most people didn't even know about before Dota 2. So hopefully it'll pick up some steam and get moving. I think it's a great game. If you haven't picked it up, check out X article on our website and check it out and give it a comment. See what you think. Definitely pick it up if you've got no shooter to play or you're tired of playing with hackers and cheaters like we are. But that's pretty much going to do it for us today. We'll be back next Sunday, with a new podcast for you. Visit our site, ergaming.net. Leave us some comments, like and subscribe. Tell the people bye, X.
Bye.
See you guys next week.